We're excited today to have Jared Morningstar here with us for our poetry event. Jared is a high school English teacher at Saginaw Arts and Sciences Academy, which is near and dear to my heart because my daughter went there and was one of the students. He's also an adjunct English professor at Saginaw Valley State University and Dalton College. And he writes poetry and short stories that reflect his interests and observations of the world. Morningstar has written 2 collections of poetry and short fiction, American Fries and American Reality, edited an international anthology of original student short fiction, Young Voices, and he was the 2012 Michigan Council of Teachers of English Secondary Teacher of the Year and 2012 Michigan Council of Teachers of English Creative Writing Teacher of the Year. He lives in Mount Pleasant with his wife and children. Before I go on, I just want to mention that you can also purchase Jared's books here at the Sunshine Shop and on our website. And then one more little reading tidbit from Jared. Don't just read fiction simply for entertainment. Try reading in between the lines as well. Think about why the author makes certain creative decisions and about what the book is actually trying to say. That kind of reading is what made me fall in love with literature. Without further ado, Mr. Jared Morningstar.
Okay, well, we're going to start with a little piece about diners and burgers and fries. American fries. Here we go. Take a seat right here, sir. Care to take a look at the menu? Today's special is deep fried. Deep fried what, you ask? Everything. There's enough grease in this shit to make your arteries explode and to make you forget about the future. It's okay. The dream is a lie. It's been one for years. Yes, even if you are a wasp, if you're straight, a man. We can't get you a piece of that pie if you didn't inherit it. But that's cool, right? Live humbly like Jesus wants you to and enjoy some of this star-spangled awesome. The salt alone will make your heart pound so hard you'll think it's the damn fireworks your redneck neighbor has left over from his month-long 4th of July celebration. Freedom tastes good, am I right? Just like racism, misogyny, homophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, fat shaming, and age discrimination. Oh, and don't forget classism. Go capitalism. Be a patriot like your friends. Don't think about it. Thinking isn't your strongest suit, and it isn't theirs either. Who needs an education? Not me, not them, not you. You can't afford one anyway. So go ahead, order that triple cheeseburger. You've been eyeing it since you picked up the menu. It comes with a Coke and a side of fries. French fries? To hell with that. We serve American fries here. All American, all that matters. All right, that first piece was from American Fries, Poems and Stories. We're going to shift to a poem from American Reality. This poem comes from, the title comes from a Buddy Holly song where Buddy Holly's speaker is talking to who knows who. But this poem is called Learning the Game and is me talking to Buddy Holly. Just before the plane crashes into the frozen Iowa ground, you realize you'll never play another concert hall. Set the nation on fire again with those 6 strings on that gorgeous Stratocaster. Make American youth believe that you are some horn-rimmed musical Clark Kent who's here to make them dance, to give them hope that they, too, can live the dream. It's then you remember that the only reason your life is about to end, the reason you'll never hold your beautiful wife again, is because you had to go on tour, take that flight, to make up for the money that management bastards kept from you, stole from you through bad contracts and backstabbing. And it hits you seconds before your fantasy ends that you're just another working class boy from Lubbock who was fooled into believing that you really mattered by those who have gorged themselves on the fortune you earned and will continue to feast on it long after you're buried in the cold earth that will soon take your last breath. It's then, my friend, that you're learning the game. This piece is about one of my really frustrating days between home and work. This piece is called Confessions of an Aging Teacher. He held them in the palm of his hand, lifting them high above his head like Atlas, his knees buckled. Knees that were older now, knees that were forced to support more weight now, all on what would have been enough sleep at 25 and single, but not at pushing 40 with insomnia every night because he has a 7-year-old who thinks she rules the world and a 7-month-old who just figured out how to open kitchen cabinets and is addicted to electrical cords. And he has to find money to feed them after bills are paid. Wait, how many lives am I holding? Looking upward, he saw dreams in vulnerable eyes. They couldn't tell he needed coffee, that his heart was pounding off beat, that his arms were shaking, that his knees were cracking. But he closed his eyes and kept his failing frame steady. I can't let them fall. I can't let them down. He knew their lives depended on him, just as his children's would one day on them. This next piece was inspired by the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic and just me trying to cope and emotionally come to terms with everything that had been happening. The poem is called Dead End. You used to love driving at night to escape ghosts and mundane realities. The road meant happiness in the form of exit ramps and taillights of fellow midnight Kerouacs in the distance ahead. Like you, they knew the world's greatest love song was the hum of the engine and the percussion of tires on pavement, with some Willie Nelson playing on the radio. The welcoming thought that a good night's sleep could be found at a mom and pop motel, and that a cup of coffee, a club sandwich, or both could be served by a smiling waitress at any hour, or streetlights, that gorgeous neon, appeared on the horizon. Even the smell of gasoline during an early AM fill-up would make your heart beat faster. For as long as that motor was running, you felt alive. But the highway is dead now. Those city lights don't shine anymore. The 24-hour diners are closed. The jukeboxes no longer play. You're lucky if you can find an open McDonald's drive-thru where a masked worker nervously accepts your card and gives you a greasy burger and fries that you now wonder if you should even eat. And there's no room at the Motor Inn. It's closed, perhaps permanently. You can't tell. But you sure know the road no longer feels like home. Home is where you're stuck in late night silence. You no longer have the miles ahead to look forward to when the sun rises. Instead, when your weary head hits the pillow, all you can do is pray in loneliness that life will return one day to the interstates, that this dead end isn't forever, and that when you wake up, you'll still be able to breathe. The different dark side of 2020, 2021. Let's talk about conspiracy theories for a second. This piece is called Boneless Wings and Republican Jesus. For real though, to hell with boneless wings. Half the fun of eating wings is tearing the meat off the bone. And what's up with the breading? Makes for an entirely different consistency. They're nothing but glorified chicken nuggets. Same bland taste with a more expensive price tag. Seriously, how can these fools not see through the lie? Then again, some time ago, folks believed in a fountain of youth, a city of gold, that the earth is the center of the universe, that the earth is flat. Oh, wait, some still do, huh? Just as some still believe that the moon landing was an illusion, that Sandy Hook was a hoax, that we live in a post-racial society just because we elected a mixed-race president, that being gay is an abomination. The same folks who refuse to believe in evolution, but think that, somehow, their love your neighbor, Lord and Savior, who preached that wealth wouldn't save souls, was a secret social Darwinist who drank from golden cups and would turn the other cheek to urban poverty because those bums should have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Of course, folks believe that saucy nuggets are chicken wings. Some folks will believe anything. The next piece will be taken once again from American Fries. It's become one of my more popular pieces, at least to read around here. The poem is called Yo Saginaw, You Listening. I believe your heart is still beating, Saginaw, but you need a good kick in the ass. The glory days are over, bud. Those old factories of yours put the rust in Rust Belt. Old Jay Rich is closer to arthritis than All-Star games. And Retke's pen's been silent for decades. Though, hey, at least you still have his corpse. You built a monument for favorite son Stevie, yet he hasn't graced you with his wonder since I was in diapers. And I am sorry, Saginaw, but these kids today don't even know what in the hell a lumberjack is. So quit looking to the past, old sport. You can't bring it back. Be happy that unlike Gatsby, you're still breathing. Come on, brush off that dust, shake off that rust. Grab hold of the light that still shines in you, and let's show them what you're made of, pal. We're counting on you. All right. This next poem, dedicated to my lovely wife, Amanda. The piece is called Happily Married in Sweatpants. We're not Instagram glamour filters or a knee-jerk flight to Vegas. We've never liked bad buffets or empty pockets. We're not a sweaty night out at the club every weekend or some drunken bender so we can pretend we aren't aging. We have no desire to be YOLO when we have to be grown-ups tomorrow. We're no pity party because we can't afford European vacations. And we certainly aren't the latest fashion, Louis Vuitton bags or Rolex watches. We're picnics on the floor after the kids go to bed. Ben and Jerry's and Netflix. A Target shopping trip. Family zoo adventures. Hyperventilation over, catching a Snorlax in Pokemon Go, and falling asleep to Golden Girls. We're the real deal. Best friends. Happily married in sweatpants, with nothing to prove. And the last piece that I'm going to share is a personal journey for me through art, through experience. This piece is called Thank You for Helping Me Learn How to Be a Real Man, for Jason Isbell. Thank you for telling us that you don't know what being a real man means, because now I don't feel so alone. I've always preferred guitars over guns, and it made me an outcast, growing up in a town where schools choose to celebrate deer season over Dr. King, violence and death over peace and love. Thank you for helping me understand that it's okay for men to cry, to be vulnerable, that strength isn't always about sucking it up, keeping up a granite countenance when, inside, you're a house of cards on a windy day. For telling me in rhyme that my day will come, that even on the hardest of days, to remember that things will get easier, that they can do so without the bottle or pills. Thanks for helping me see that as beautiful as the open road can be, there is no shame in being tired of traveling alone, but also for showing me that a real man lets a woman drive too, that no relationship can thrive when one person is relegated to the passenger seat, and that when the road gets rocky, you can't just run away with your eyes closed, that if you want her to be your crutch when you can't stand on your feet, sometimes you better be willing to put her first, to let her take the wheel. And thanks for showing me that real strength is not found in a clenched fist, but in your character, in selflessness over selfishness, in asking what you have done to help others instead of what others have done to help you. That real men aren't afraid to stand up for what they believe in, that they don't just shut up and sing, but that they don't need a club or a sword when a pen, a paintbrush, a microphone will send a louder message, one that solves problems instead of starting them or making them worse. You need to know that I am listening, that you aren't just writing sad songs, riffing on that 59 Les Paul, giving the audience a 90-minute escape from their everyday realities. You aren't just a rock star, an artist, or a storyteller. You are a healer, an inspiration, an educator. And for helping to teach me how to be a better husband to my wife, father to my children, and man, a real man, in a world that needs them. Thank you. Thank you.